Well, maybe this is what she felt, and she will be telling us more about that. But at this point, let me welcome and invite Unice Waweru to the show.
Thank you,
Karibu
Pastor
sana.
Ted.
It's
Thank
good
you.
to have you.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. I've just done a very sketchy introduction of yours, of you. Please just tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well,
Yes.
good morning.
Whatever you'd like to say. Good
Okay.
morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Unice Waweru. And as Pastor Ted said, you know, life happens. And literally when you say life happens, I used to think it was the nice, spontaneous things that we do every day.
Yeah.
But, well, I have learned as long as you're alive, bad things will come your way. But then, who's God? When he says he restores, I have tasted him. I will say I have come to enjoy the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen, amen. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know we're getting into the details of that a little bit, but maybe it would be good for us to just go back as far back as we can, right? And just start off with where this starts.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I'll say 2006 September.
Okay.
When I look back, I count that as one of the best days of my life when I had my daughter.
Okay.
It had been a long time coming. We'd tried for a while, and just after I'd given up, actually, let me take it a little back.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'd promised myself that I used to tell myself I'll have a baby when I'm 28 years old.
Okay.
And, well, God taught me it's not about what it is we say to ourselves.
Yes,
It happens when he wants to. So on 3rd of December 2005, I attended this prayer service in my friend's church because she literally forced me to go with her.
Yeah.
And on that day, we were asked to pray for the person on your right.
Okay.
I didn't know that God actually puts words in our mouths. I didn't know the person on my right, but I had myself praying for them. I didn't know about their life.
Yeah.
And so that means my friend was on my left and she was praying now for me. And after that service, and by then I'd given up having a baby, she told me, a year from now, you will have a child. And I laughed it off because I'd given up.
Yes.
And guess what? Exactly 9 months to the day.
No
From
way.
that was on 3rd December 2005.
Yes.
2nd September in the evening, 2006,
Yes.
my little Nya was born.
Oh my goodness.
And
Wow.
I remember then thinking...
Did you get a contact of this person? Did you ever get to meet them, to know them?
No, it was now, the person on my right I didn't know,
Yes,
but the
yes,
one
yes.
on my left was my friend
I
who
see.
taken me
Okay,
to that
okay.
service.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, and we laughed about it, but it was exactly 9 months to the day.
Exactly 9 months. You need to give me your friend's
And Nya
contact.
was born.
maybe I need to sit. You are seated. How are you seated? Is it on the...
Just
you
as
on
we
the
are,
right? Yes.
just as we are.
Excellent. I'll need to sit with them, have chai and tell them, please sit here.
No, but it just goes to show you, you know, when you hear God's word concerning your life, believe it.
Yes.
You know, whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen if he says it's going to happen. And so she was a miracle baby.
Okay.
And
Sorry to cut you short. By this time, how long had you been married?
I'd been married 5 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys had tried for quite some time.
Yes, and so 28 came and went, and I gave up, and I had her when I was 30 years old.
Okay.
Now, she grew up just like any other child. She was the love of my life, and unfortunately, that first marriage didn't work. And that was sad for me, but still, God had brought the best gift that he could ever give somebody. I loved Nya to bits, and in 2011...
And Nya is short for...
Nyamura.
Okay, excellent.
In 2011, 2010-2011, I was involved in a project at work, and I was requested to go roll out this change project, which was really huge, in Uganda.
Okay.
And I decided I wasn't going to go by myself.
Okay.
By then, I was already married, I was already divorced, and the decree Unice had been given. And so by the time I left with her, I was certain it was just me. I didn't need to speak with anybody.
Yeah.
But I remember asking, I left with Nyamura in my house help. I remember her telling me she wouldn't tell her parents.
Okay.
Her name was Purity. And I told Purity, if you aren't telling your parents, I'm not going with you. So she called her parents and told them she was going with her employer to Uganda.
Okay.
And they said, okay. So we set off for Uganda. I picked them up on the second week of September 2011. And so we went, we had a wonderful 3 weeks with them. And while we're in Uganda, a friend of mine who we'd hosted in Kenya, who'd worked with us some years earlier in Kenya, said, you know, we used to show him around here when he was here. And he said, I would love to show you my country. So on September 30th, 2011,
so by this time, Nya is
5 years old. She
Actually,
just turned 5.
Because she turned 5 on 2nd of September.
On 2nd of September.
Okay.
My friend, my best friend, came to Uganda. It was a Friday, and now our friend Dan was going to show us around their country the following day.
You guys were in Kampala?
We're in Kampala, yes.
Okay.
So on Saturday morning, we set off early. So my friend's name was Dan. He came with his wife Lillian and their 2 children. I was with Nyamura, my house help Purity, and my best friend Josephine and Nyamura now. And we set off, we had a wonderful day. We went to the source of the Nile. We
And I hear
went,
Uganda is such a beautiful country.
It is.
I've only visited, passed by actually. Yeah, I think Kampala.
No, it will be good to visit. Kampala is actually small, and Kampala is good for its nightlife.
Yes, yes.
Oh, and wonderful food spots. But the greenery around there is wonderful. So we visited the source of the Nile. We went to the Bujagali Falls. And on our way back, I remember actually asking Dan, why do you have to drive so carefully? And he said, it's okay, let those who are in a hurry go by. And I remember we were all in such high spirits, and everybody was singing along. I bought lots of airtime, and I called everybody at home. My sister had just returned from the UK for a short break. She was doing her PhD. So we hadn't seen each other in a long time. I spoke with her for a long time. I spoke with my brother, my mother. I called my friends back home. And I remember Nya telling me, Mom, you're not singing.
Yeah.
And that was what I last remember. Suddenly, it was dark all around me. I could see lights flashing. And I sat up. No, I sat up, I looked. Next to me, I could see 2 bodies. I could tell these are children, I could tell they are dead. And suddenly there was a flurry of activity around me. Later, I realized they must have been arranging the bodies. So you can imagine, to their shock and horror, this first body they've arranged, suddenly you're up and you're looking around. I remember some army men grabbing me and put me at the back, in the back of a police truck. When I sat in the back of that truck, I looked across the road. I saw a van. And I suddenly realized I was in that van. I realized Nyamura was with me. So I jumped off the van, I crossed the road, I got into what I realized it was a place with reeds. The vehicle was inside. I saw Nyamura in the water and I wondered, she loves swimming, why isn't she swimming? So I was walking towards her, and just before I reached her, my hands were grabbed and I was taken back into the van. It was dark all around me. All I could see was forest. And about an hour later...
What time was this?
It was about 7:30
p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
I was in hospital receiving first aid, some hospital in Mabira Forest. Mabira Forest is between Kampala and Jinja. Now we're coming back to Kampala. And, well, it was quite dramatic. I remember seeing this whole group of people walking towards me, and there were cameras, and I didn't recognize any of them. And so somebody told me I am Dan's brother. I'd like you to tell me what Dan was wearing. I started describing, but then I thought, if you're Dan's brother, you know your brother. Why are you asking me what he was dressed in? And he told me he died on the spot. And then he asked me, okay, what about Lillian? What was she wearing? Lillian was Dan's wife. I looked at him. I said, she's your sister-in-law. I don't need to tell you. And he told me their body was so mangled, we can't tell them apart.
What?
Then I asked him, what hospital were the others taken to? And that's when he dropped the bombshell. Everybody died. Of course, that was when the nightmare began. I thought, whoa.
Yeah.
I couldn't even process it. I thought my world is crushed. What am I going to say to Josephine's father? That's my best friend who had come the previous day.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell Purity's parents? She was their breadwinner. I didn't even know how to break the news to my family about Nyamura. But then I knew at least there's somebody, if I called home, there's somebody who will tell someone in our HR and someone will make arrangements and somehow I will get home. But something very interesting happened.
Yeah.
All through, so I needed to make some calls. A gentleman came and stood right beside the bed where I was in hospital. And I'm just saying this to let you all know that, you know, God literally watches out for us. I used his telephone, I made the necessary calls, and I received calls through his phone, and I was told, someone will come take care of you, we'll be moving you to Kampala. And he sat with me, and all calls that came I received through his phone. And when I was told there's an ambulance on its way, now this is many hours later, to take you to Kampala, I thanked him, and he told me he worked for the Red Cross. And I was taken to Kampala International Hospital. Yeah. And when I came home, okay, I'm digressing a little. We tried looking for that person. Somehow nobody could reach that person. I tried that number. It didn't go through. And
sorry, which person is this exactly?
You remember I told you, there's someone who stood
yes.
next to my bed, and he stood with me. He stayed with me the whole evening. So from around 7:30 to about midnight when the ambulance came, I was with him. But then even when I went back to Kampala a few months later, I tried looking for the person. Nobody could reach that person. So till today, I think to myself, who was that person?
Let me tell you, you are the second person to tell me about, I know the story of somebody, just to digress a little bit, but to highlight what I'm trying to say and what I think could have happened. A friend of somebody that I know who was very sick had decided to take the family on holiday because they knew they were going to die. They were actually suffering from very advanced cancer. So they decided one last trip, let's go to, somewhere, take the family on holiday. And now just while they're there, they get very sick. So they have to cut short the trip a little bit and they start coming back. And this man says, at some point the family had gone and then he says, some guy came and held him and told him, bro, I know you. We went to the same high school. My name is so-and-so. And he told him, don't worry, let your family go ahead. I'll help you all the way to the airplane. And he walked with him, he supported him, he was very strong, walked with him all the way to the airplane, helped him through security, and the guy got back to Nairobi, he got a bit better, so he started looking for this guy. He said, he went to that class, because he said, I was in this class, and he said the name, and nobody, and I mean nobody knew of that guy. And to date, like of course now later it's the wife was telling the story, says, I am convinced without a shadow of a doubt, that was an angel. And maybe that's exactly what happened.
I am convinced it was.
My goodness.
At that point, I didn't realize that. But I have come to learn that God gives you what you need. God brings all the help that you require when you do. We may not see it, but he does. So back to the tale.
Yes.
Things were worked out, and I thank God for my employer then, because we came back home. It was really horrific. Being a weekend, a Sunday, they couldn't find, number one, a plane that was big enough to have a cargo plane that will have the bodies separate. But of course, so what happened in the accident was, in a few seconds, 9 people died. I learned later we were hit by a Kenyan vehicle in Uganda.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, did it have to come all the way to Uganda?
Yeah.
So when the conductor realized, I think the driver, I imagine he may have fallen asleep. Because when his conductor realized he was going to hit another vehicle, the conductor jumped off. He died on impact, on landing onto the ground. And in a few seconds, everybody who was in the vehicle with me died. That was Dan, his wife Lillian, the children, the 2 children, Nicole and Jonathan, Nyamura, Purity, Josephine. So God got me out of that. But the vehicle didn't stop.
You weren't hurt?
Yes, I just had some glass got into my forehead, and I had this big gash on the side of my knee.
Yeah.
And when the vehicle hit us, so it didn't just stop there, it hit the vehicle right behind us, and the driver also died on the spot. So in a few seconds, 9 people were gone, but God got me out of it. Of course, when I got home, I asked him very many questions, and I asked myself, so you've left me, what am I supposed to do? What am I going to tell Joe's parents? What am I going to tell Purity's parents? Of course, I felt like my life was over.
Yeah.
And I remember when we got home, of course, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare then. And I'll say, for a long time, it felt like, I was just moving. I remember when I came, I was taken to Nairobi Hospital. Of course, I needed surgery. They needed to check if there was anything broken.
Any internal bleeding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that was the following day after the accident. I remember looking out of the window of the ward I was in, and I thought I should just jump and it. And a voice said to me, if I got you out of that, what do you think is going to happen over here? Then I thought, I'll probably break a leg, and then I'll have 6 months trying to heal it. Then I thought, okay, it's not worth it. But I went home, and I thank God I got all the support I could. I can tell you, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't even understand what was happening in life. But I'll say, the prayers of the people around you help. I know everybody around me was praying. I know God got me through that. I remember just shortly after that, someone was preaching, and I was thinking, what right do you have to talk to me? And that lady's opening remarks were, when my child died, I asked God, why me? And I heard a voice saying, whose child did you want me to take? Then I sat to attention, and I knew I could listen to her. She had lost a child. I remember shortly after that, an elderly lady spoke with me. And I thought she was very harsh. And I'm saying this because their parents who have lost their children. Actually, before I lost Nyamura, it hadn't occurred to me that children die. Truth is, children die. As long as you're born, you will die. But it hadn't really occurred to me that children die. And I remember that lady speaking to me, and she told me, young girl, you've got to accept that your child is gone and she'll never come back. And that was really hard. And I looked at her. Of course, she was much older than me, so I couldn't answer her back. And she told me, I wish somebody had told me that. Because when my son died, it took me 11 months to actually accept that he was gone. But then I was battling depression, diabetes, high blood pressure, all these things. I wish someone had told me that my child is gone. And so I think that was also God bringing help my way.
Okay.
But well...
So it was harsh, but still
I needed to hear it.
Yeah, in some way.
Now, fast forward, and of course, I still believe that one of the worst things that could happen to you as a human being, as a parent, is lose your child. And God walked with me. Of course, I thought I was nuts. I thought I was losing it, and I think I was losing it. But of course, you've got to put up this public appearance. But one of the things that really helped me was journaling. And some thoughts I couldn't say out aloud, but I told God on paper. I remember writing Nyamura, and sometimes I wrote down all the wonderful memories I could remember. And this is also something I encourage people to do. When you lose someone you love, put down the memories, because it's all you have left. But thank God for those memories. I remember reading once that grief is the price you pay for having loved. I don't regret loving. And I look back at those memories, and yes, I smiled through the tears. But then reality was, Nya was gone, and I thought she was all the family I had, her and my mom. Because I've got a brother and sister, they've got their families. So it's not exactly the same. I'm their sister, but my mom, I felt like I only had my mom and now Nya, and now Nya was gone. Now, so of course some realities for me were, I don't have any other child. So I thought, okay, this is going to be one lonely road ahead. And life continued. Now, I remember shortly, though, I'll take you back a little. I told you I got divorced in 2000, and I got the decree Unice in 2010.
And the decree Unice is?
You get a decree Unice showing now the process has been completed, and 6 months later, you receive a decree absolute. So that came in the beginning of 2011. 2011, yes. So at the beginning of 2011, my best maid and I sat down and said, we're done with these guys. And we wrote a list, a long list. And I said, you know what, God, if someone meets these qualities, maybe I'll consider, maybe this will be the person. I remember my list was so long. It had 53 things. And my friends will always tease me about it and ask me, made in China hasn't been made. Because I was so certain, and I can tell you, God cares about the details in our lives. Because this list had must-haves, would like to have, and nice to have about a guy. And of course, when I was writing it, I didn't have anything in mind. After all, I've been divorced. I don't care about guys anymore. So here I was, okay, truly feeling sorry for myself. I don't have a child. I'm divorced. So I'll be alone all my life. And life went on.
I think I really want to hear what was on this list. So allow that we will take a short break right here, and then right after the break, I want to hear. You don't have to give us all 53. You can just give us 52. This is the story of Unice Wawero, a story of life, a story of loss, and a story of restoration. And I hope it motivates you today, this Monday. Well, we'll take a short break and listen to Tabitha, who is a psychologist, talk about just mental wellness. Let's take a break. See you right after.
We normally say it's okay not to be okay. Your small challenge in this situation could be a big challenge to another person. So it's okay to talk to someone. It's okay to tell them how you feel. And it's also okay to stand up for yourself and say, you may see my challenge as a small challenge, but to me it's a big challenge. You stand up for yourself. Also being confident of yourself and standing up for yourself and fighting for yourself can really help you to navigate through that challenge. So the support system is very key. Remember to talk to someone, and someone who can support you, not someone who can sympathize with you, because sympathy can pull you down. Sympathy can destroy your confidence, but someone who can encourage you, validate your feelings, walk with you the journey, listen to you. Sometimes you just need someone to listen, not to really tell you a lot of things. You need someone to help you understand the situation that you're going through, validate that it's not easy for you. Because when you talk to someone and say, this is what I'm going through, and they're telling you, that's a small thing. Why are you stressing yourself about that? It can be very discouraging. You feel like it's not right for you to feel the way you're feeling. Another thing is positive self-talk. Talk about yourself in a positive way. Remind yourself that you're important. You are your own sometimes. You're your own cheerleader sometimes. You don't have to wait for someone every time to cheer you up. Wake up in the morning, look at the day, be grateful. Positive attitude is drawn from being grateful. Gratitude attitude is very important. Are you grateful about the life that you're living? Are you grateful with even the challenge that is at hand? Because you can turn your challenge to be a point of growth. You can grow out of it. You can develop your life out of it. If only you look at it in that way. But if you look at it as a finishing point, you'll be finished. So it's more also on our mindset. How do we think about issues, and how do we navigate issues? How do we respond to that situation every time they come? Finally, when you have spoken to someone, you've sought maybe the support system, things are not working, it's always okay to look for therapy, a professional therapist. Go for therapy, seek counseling. It's okay. Actually, counseling or seeking help and therapy is a point of strength, not a point of weakness. I know many people sometimes feel like if you go for counseling now, you are now a weak person, or you don't have the resilience, or maybe you're not okay, you're mad. No, those are the myths of what people say normally in the community, but it's not true. Counseling is a strength. When you are able to come out and speak up and seek therapy, it means you are strong. It means you also a very confident person. So it's okay to seek help. It's okay to go for therapy whenever you feel like you can't navigate more. And it is okay not to be okay, but it's okay also to navigate that space in a very healthy way. Healthy coping mechanisms, not destructive mechanism. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Welcome back to Motivation Monday, where we share inspiring stories and have challenging conversations. And today's story is a very powerful story of loss and restoration. This is the story of Unice Wawero, and she'll be giving us more details. I hope that you have been tracking with us, and if not, please know that this particular episode will be recorded, and you can go back to our YouTube channel and just listen to this very powerful and inspiring story about loss and restoration. Now, we are able to do this because of your generous support, and so please do consider giving to the paybill number 316, and the account number will be your phone number. It really goes a long way in helping keep Jesus on the airwaves. Now, I'd like to come back to this, and two things that I'd like us maybe just to talk about. Number one, I'm curious, just tracking with what Josephine was talking about, mental wellness. Did you receive any therapy at the time? And was that helpful in any way? And then maybe just after that, shortly after that, you can just tell us, you spent 5 wonderful and amazing years with Nya. Maybe just share some of your best memories of her.
Okay, thank you. Mental wellness.
Yes.
At that point, I received therapy, but I will say it really, I didn't feel like even the therapist I was working with understood what I was going through. And I think it's important even that therapists are human, because a little later I met one, and she talked to me about the day her mother died. Then I felt like I could listen to her and I could work with her a little. But years later, I realized this really affects your life. It's therapy is important, and you don't have to have therapy. I know often people think when you're psycho, that's when you have therapy. I can tell you, for where I am today, for me to speak about restoration and a second chance at love, I only went in because I worked with a therapist. I wasn't ready for that step. So therapy is important and very helpful. And even today, I still go back to a therapist I worked with to help me get into where I am now today. So it's really important. You asked about Nya, and thank you. Yeah. I feel like as her mom, I'm the only one who can tell her story, and I owe telling her story. Now, Nya was brilliant. I wouldn't say she was brilliant because she was my daughter, but I remember looking at her when she was 2 years old, and I knew if anything happened to me today, she would survive. I remember we would dress her, and she'll target her clothes, and she'll just walk to her wardrobe and pull out the drawer and pull out pink things.
Oh, wow.
So even at 2, we knew pink is her color, and she does what she wants. She wears what she wants to wear, and she'll wear pink things. So at least I knew she was independent. And she made people laugh, always. At home, I remember once I was taking her to the clinic. She was about a year old. We didn't have a car then. So I took her in a mat. And I remember I could hear laughter behind me. And I was wondering what was happening. So when we got off the mat, someone tapped me on the shoulder and told me, "Uyu mtoto wako ametuchekesha." And so they showed me how Nya was blinking at them and smiling, and so they'd all respond by smiling. And she did that with all our neighbors. I remember she would spend so much time with our neighbors. When Nyamura went to school, I remember her first day was amazing, and we took photos of her at the gate in her first day in uniform. A few weeks later, I met her teacher. And she told me about how much Nyambura loved her classmates. And I remember one of the best days again of my life was the day she could write her name. Her name was Eve Nyambura Makumi. It was wonderful, and I remember celebrating with her teacher. Then shortly after she died, I understood why flowers used to disappear from my compound. I didn't know, but her teacher told me how Nyambura took her flower every day. When she was done picking flowers from my compound, she would pick flowers from the neighbors' houses, but she took a flower to her teacher every day. So she made a lasting memory. Excellent. And I remember, even as I was sad that I would not see her grow up, I had a certificate. She was awarded the cleanest student in the school. Of course, that had nothing to do with me. And it was beautiful. At home, well, I would just say I viewed her as the joy of my life. And sometimes sometimes I worry a little that, you know, when God says I am a jealous God, maybe I paid her too much attention. I'd waited too long to have her, that she probably overshadowed God in my life at that point. Now I'm actually quite careful to note that, you know, God comes first in my life. I have a feeling I paid too much attention to her, and now I know everything we receive is a gift from God. He's actually our provider, and He gives, He takes away, but He also takes care of us. Now, just before we took a break, you were asking about my list.
Yes. We only had about 52 52 out of 53 things to work through. So we have about 12 minutes remaining. So let's share like 4 per minute. So
I'll just say, the list, to other people it may seem silly, but I think God cares about the details in our lives. I detailed it to, if I meet someone and they've been married once, they've got 2 children, same mother, the person of course must be God-fearing, the person must be a professional, the person must be doing so much better than me in life that they'll never feel challenged by me. And you know, all my girls kept laughing. The person must be kind, the person must have, it was detailed, including a beautiful handwriting, and that's where everybody laughed about it. But fast forward to 2020. The crazy thing is, the same friend who'd introduced me to Nyambura's dad wanted me to meet this friend of hers. And I kept telling her, no, I'm not interested. And in the middle of COVID, I met this person. And the day before I agreed to meet him, the day before now the meeting, she told me there's something I haven't told you. And I told her, don't tell me his name is X. And she told me, yeah, his name is George. So the weird thing is, Nyamura's dad was George.
Oh,
and this other person she introduces me to is called George. So I just showed up. And I thought, okay, fine, let me just see what it is he's looking for. I'll help my friend, help him find the person he's looking for. And when I had the first one-on-one with him, I knew I was not going to introduce him to anybody else. And
oh, I love that. George, wherever you are, just to know that you made a lasting impression, clearly, and here you are. So, the Lord bless you.
He did.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, 4 months after I met him, one day I was rummaging through my drawers at home and I come across my list. And he ticked off everything on that list.
All 53.
He only went overboard by 1 point.
Serious?
I'd said the person must be maximum 15 years older than me.
Yeah.
He's 18 years older than me.
Wow.
But I can tell you, I told you God cares about the details in our lives.
Yes.
I can't tell the age difference. He watches the movies I watch. I hike with him. He loves traveling. I think a little more than I do.
You do, yes.
So I think God brought me my soulmate. God brought me that person that ticked off all those. And not only did he give me that person, but remember I told you my life, I filled my life, I learned to be alone for all those years, between 2011 when I lost Nya, and for a whole 10 years, I'd been by myself. But not only did God bring me George, God brought me a complete family. George came along with 2 sons. I have 2 beautiful daughters-in-law. And coming from a person who was all by herself, I'm the first among my friends to become a grandmother. I've got 3 wonderful grandsons.
Yes.
So, yes, I can say Psalms 23 came alive for me. He walked me through the valley of the shadow of death and got me out alive. Out of everybody who was in that vehicle, I'm the only one who came out alive. And out of feeling like I had nothing, I was all alone, look at me today. Sadly, Mom passed away just about 17 days before my wedding. And I feel like she handed me over to my husband. Nya was born on September 2nd. Nya died on October 1st. That month was the worst month in my, my life every year. September 2nd used to be bad. By the birthdays, when you lose a child, the birthdays and the deathversaries are the worst days of your life. But guess what? When I asked George, when do you think our wedding day should be? He said 17th September. It was bang in the middle of those 2 days. Like in the middle of my nightmare month was my wedding day.
Wow.
So I'll say God has turned my ashes into beauty. Joel 2:25, about God restoring our life, came alive for me. And I'll just like to say to everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening, God does that. He's our provider. He cares for us. And I will say, if he restored me, if he gave me joy, I've told you, today I look at life and I can't believe. I will miss Nya with all my heart. But today, not only do I have 4 children, because I've got the 2 boys and their wives, and I've got my 3 grandbabies, and I know God is bringing more. What more can I ask? Well, a little pressure. A little bit of pressure. And we are here and we'll take care of them.
Yes.
But God surely does restore us. What was a nightmare in my life, God has turned into such a joy. I'll just like to say, let's trust him, let's believe in him, because who else do we have? He's my all. He provides my all. We get stuck in murky situations, but he turns those around. So here I am.
Awesome.
I'm glad to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And what a joy just to know how much you lost in a sense, and yet how God has restored that fully. And let me just maybe, as we begin to wrap up this conversation, just ask, in those years, and I know it took a while to even just heal, even now to the point where you're willing to actually try a second time, at love. What did you learn about grief and loss?
Well, like I said, okay, the worst thing I learned about it, and this is to everybody who's grieving, and sorry, everybody, as long as you're alive, you will grieve one day, and we will also go one day.
Yeah.
I learned that there are two ways to cope. You can either rely on God, or they're complete different direction, because I'm in a group on Facebook called Grieving Moms, and I see when someone comes and pours out their heart, there are those who will tell you, lean on God, do this, they'll tell you journal, etc. But there's also these other groups, still in the same group, who will tell you what drug to combine with what alcohol to numb that pain. You can choose how you deal with it.
Oh, really?
I choose to rely on God. So grief is painful, but if you rely on God, I mean, you can choose to ask him the questions. He can take it.
Yeah.
So I learned that about grief, but I also learned when you speak about what it is you're going through, it actually releases some of that pain. For everybody, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to say this, please, if someone's lost somebody, somebody's grieving, don't tell them it is well. There's nothing well about that situation. Oh, really? If there's anything you take away from this, nothing more, don't ever tell somebody it is well. There's nothing well. The world is shattered.
Absolutely.
But I found so much help, and, in the friends just stood by you. I'd rather you just stand by someone and say nothing. Pray for them. Yeah. Just stand over there. I've got a friend who stayed with me for a month when it happened.
Wow. And
she'll follow me everywhere. And later she told me, I was following you everywhere because I thought you would kill yourself, and I didn't want to watch you do that. So, but she stood by me. She stopped her life for a month. I know everybody else was praying. So there is that about grief, but also talk about it. If you need to speak with someone when you're ready, do journal. For me, that was big. I still think I will write something, because I've got a collection of all those memories, the questions I wrote down. I think maybe one day they'll help somebody. Journaling helped me a lot. So that's what I'll say about grief. Okay. But mainly, just know that God's taking care of you. Amen. If he's brought me to where I am today, he will walk the journey of grief with everybody, and he does. That's what I'll sum up about grief. Yeah. About restoration, he does in his time. Just trust him. Yeah. Of course, in the middle of between losing and meeting George, I met a few people. I wish I had just stuck to my list and told God, when you're ready, Lord, I know you will do it. So if there's any advice I give people, I just say, just wait upon God and just work at being the one. If the two Georges met today, they'll think they're talking about someone completely different. So I used that time to also work on me. I see. Grow up. Yeah. Take my part of the blame, because when marriages break down, everybody's got a role to play. Absolutely, yeah. So I would say just work on you. Be the right person. Choose what battles will bug you, but take that time, for example, between relationships, to just find out what version of me is the best version that everybody should meet. I see. Yes. Oh, that's such a good statement. What version of me, my best version of me, do I want people to meet? Yes. That's an awesome thing. And maybe just as we conclude, when you talk about, like, say, working on yourself, what does that look like, practically speaking? Taking responsibility for your life. Okay. You can't blame people. You can't blame anybody for what happened to you. It's our decisions that get us where we get to. But also, it's the decision, for example, I chose to walk away from a situation that wasn't working for me. If I hadn't walked away from that situation, I probably would be one bitter person. But I chose to walk away. I accepted reality of taking the blame of how I contributed to this breakdown. It's not an easy journey. And like I'm saying, I had to go through therapy at some point. Otherwise, I would not have been ready for that situation. Also, listen to your friends. When they tell you there's this that's wrong with you, take that in. It's difficult, but find a way to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have good friends then to start with.
Oh, certainly. And you need people who are going to tell you the truth about your life.
Yeah.
And I've got my girls that we have walked with. They are still my girls today, and we'll tell each other off and we'll encourage each other, but we make time to sit and listen to each other.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the right people around you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amen. Wonderful. Well, that's the story of Unice Wabero, a story of loss and yet a story of restoration. And I hope that that motivates you today as you begin your week, that God does and can really restore that which is lost. And I pray that that will be your testimony and something that you can actually say about your own life. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Unice, for being with us. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing Nya with us, and thank you for sharing even George and your children with us. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've come to the end of this particular show, but of course there are a lot of great programs lined up, and so please do stay tuned in. Thank you so much for being a partner and for considering to be a partner indeed. Well, we rely on your generous support to ensure that we keep the lights on and we keep Jesus on the airwaves. So please do consider giving towards this so that we can actually continue to do this and to bring stories like this and to be able to do what we do here at Family Media. If you'd like to do so, you can give to the paybill number 316 and the account number will be your phone number. If you'd like to give to our bank account, you can do so through our cooperative bank account, which is the account number is 0113 600 799 100. That is 0113 600 799 100. And the account name will be TBN Family Media. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Ted Ohome, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on Motivation Monday. See you next time.